Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darwin, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at Assassination. Now, with Assassination, there is a lot to cover, so I am going to want to go by this video as quickly as possible, but I still want to be as detailed as I can, because there's simply a lot to cover. Let's take a look at the specialization. One of the biggest things is you're missing your artifact weapon and all the passives, but now you want to figure out what is left. Venomous Wounds as a passive only gains energy from Garrote and Rupture. So other bleeds that you might want to play with, like for example, Crimson Tempest, you will not be able to get a crazy amount of energy out of those. Mastery now includes bleeds as well. So your Mastery increases the damage of your poisons and bleeds. Mastery name change to Potent Assassin. This opens up so many avenues for Assassination to play, and even gives more ways for us to play with our stats, because you increase in so many aspects of the gameplay. You can make a lot more builds, you can be a lot more creative in how you want to play your spec, and even specialize in specific fights. Vendetta is changed as well. It now generates 60 energy over 3 seconds, but it also has a GCD. So you will want to weave that in when you're low on energy, and of course when you use it, you will also spend at least a global just kind of waiting for GCD to come up. So you kind of want to use it at very low energy to maximize the result. Alright, let's start on the challenge, because this is where the most customization applies. I think the specialization has every way to deal with any situation imaginable. And there's so many playstyles that you can come up with, it's almost like there's no wrong way to play. Level 15 Master Poisoner changed slightly. It increases the damage done by your weapon poisons by 30%. So, like I said, whenever I apply Deadly Poison, whenever I reapply it, I'm pretty sure that that's what the talent is talking about. Because it changed in terms of like the percentages and whatever, the math for it. Elaborate Planning grants you 10% increased damage during 4 seconds. And Blindside is old school dispatch. If you use dispatch in MOP or WOD, this is dispatch, just renamed Blindside. Dispatch now as a name went to Outlaw instead as their finisher. So I'm gonna call it Blindside. Blindside exactly the same, explodes vulnerability at 30% health. You can start stabbing the enemy, only 1 common point, but it's a lot more damage than Mutilate. And great for execute mechanics. Mutilate has a 30% chance to make an next Blindside free. This has been just fun to play with, because always mutilating gets boring after a while. So being able to mutilate and Blindside in between your rotation to build common points is pretty awesome and exciting. Level 30, we got Night Stalker, exactly the same. Subterfuge, more or less the same, just slightly lower damage numbers on your Garrote increase. And then Master Assassin, which are your Lego shoulders baked into a talent. While stealth is active for 3 seconds after breaking stealth, your critical strike chance is increased by 50%. So when you open on a target, you'll have 50% crit for 30 seconds. This can be combined with burst. It's not 100% crit, so maybe crit stack into 50% cap for Assassination if ever possible in the future might be worth. Level 45, you have Vigor, which is exactly the same, Deeper Stratagem, which is exactly the same, and then Mark for Death that has a 30-second cooldown. So this makes it a lot more competitive and allows you a lot more playstyle preferences. I've been playing between Deeper Stratagem and Vigor because it feels for Assassination, generating common points is not an issue. At level 60, Leeching Poison can now be stacked with other poisons, which makes it awesome. Illusionist lost a lot of it, I would say wind for PvP, because now Feint has a 15-second cooldown, so using this for single target is going to be a little bit tricky. Cheat Death is exactly the same. Level 75, Internal Bleeding is exactly the same. Prey in the Weak works off of cheap shots and kidney shots. And Iron Wire, yes, it says 8 seconds worth of Garrote, and yes, it actually silences the enemy for 8 seconds. And does put an Iron Wire debuff on them. I am not 100% sure if this works off of bosses, because it's been a while since I played Assassination for dungeons. I've really been rolling Subtlety and Outlaw, really trying to figure out those specs as much as I can. But it would be hilarious if you're going against some major boss, mechanic comes out, you vanish Garrote, and then the boss hits like wet noodle. Level 90, Venom Rush got changed, so now it only has Mutilate, Refund, Energy. This is, I guess, a pretty decent place. I don't really know how we'd use this one, honestly. I guess this is fine. It still makes Mutilate 50 energy, so it's not, it puts it on a 45 energy CD, or 45 energy, I guess, cost. But you are refunded back energy, so I guess you can go into Mutilates, into Ruptures, or Mutilate into other Mutilates faster. So I guess it speeds up your rotation in a way. It still does have a pretty high upfront cost. Toxic Blade changed. Now it says nature damage increased by 30%, so all nature damage. So if you get Poison Bomb procs, this functions into it as well. And then there's Exsanguinate. 25% energy, 45-second cooldown, 100% faster for bleeds. Level 103 is kind of like your AoE/cleave. Poison Bomb is exactly the same as your artifact weapon. Envenom and Rupture have a 4% chance per common point spent to drop a pool of acid, exactly the same. Hidden Blades is your shoulder Lego, or not shoulder, but cloak Lego. baked into the specialization. Every 2 seconds, gain 20% increased stacking damage for your next Venom knife, stacking up to 20 times. I can see this one being kind of decent in single target for burst and good for AoE cleave, especially when cleave doesn't always happen. Like, let's say you just single target the boss, then a bunch of ads run out, then you kill the ads-ins back to the boss, then a bunch of ads run out, and you can use this in order to do a lot of upfront damage. And then Crimson Tempest is awesome for just pure AoE with bleed. I haven't tried playing it together with, like, you know, Garrote, Rupture, and Crimson Tempest, and just bleeding and making sure the enemy has bleeds for literally ever. But we could try something like this in this video. Okay, so that was a lot. So Assassination with talents has a lot of ways to deal with situations. You have maybe a cleave situation but no mobility, Poison Bomb is best. Maybe some cleave but high mobility, Hidden Blades might be better. Toxic Blade if you need burst with poisons, Toxic Blade you can do with poisons. 8-second silence, you could do that too. Mark for Death for targets that need to be killed ASAP, so Mark for Death in Venom or Mark for Death Rupture, you can do that too. Subterfuge for multiple Garrotes to hit multiple targets, you can. Night Stalker for some beefy deeper strat Rupture combo, you can. Elaborate planning if you're always going to be sinking your finishers, maybe you need an execute. There's so many ways to play. So let's say a situation just needs something out of you. As Assassination, I think you'll be running with a lot of these, a lot of the Tomes of Tranquil Mind in order to change up your playstyles for any situation. So let's take a look at a build. Let's just try and make a build together. Let's try making a heavy poison build, for example. Master Poisoner, we'll go with Master Assassin, we'll go with Vigor, we'll go with Leech and Poison, Iron Wire, Toxic Blade, and Poison Bomb. So this one is very high RNG, but can have very high burst. Last time I tried this, I had no damage at all. So we're gonna Mutilate here, then Toxic Blade, then Vanish in Venom. So we're gonna get that extra chance for crit. We're really hoping for a Poison Bomb proc, but look at this, with how much poison damage, the upfront poison damage we can do. We were dealing up to 15k worth of burst. So you can really have very high amount of burst with this kind of build and do just a ton of damage. But now I'm just kind of waiting and chilling, waiting for my cooldowns coming back up. I haven't gotten a single Poison Bomb proc, so imagine Poison Bomb proc as part of that burst. So that's what I've been really unlucky with Assassination, is with the Poison Bomb procs. I've been extremely unlucky. I just did a recording and the damage was just abysmal. I mean, the damage is still good with poisons alone, and especially if I could stack more mastery, I could probably get more out of it. I think if you're looking for like a poison playstyle where you're trying to get upfront damage, I think stack and haste won't be necessary. Because, wow, I actually have haste against current target. Oh, okay, I guess I see like the extra to the stats, don't I? That's interesting. I never noticed stuff like this. Let's say you're trying to go for that upfront instantaneous bleed damage, right? You don't, or poison damage. You don't really care about the damage over time. So you could just not stack haste for your dots to tick faster or have more ticks during its duration, but rather more mastery and more versatility, or more crit and mastery for more upfront burst. So whenever you get those poisons, you get to do a lot more upfront, then you're better for burst potential. Let's say the fight requires you maybe more bleed damage, more sustained damage over time, and it's maybe a long form fight, so you're not going to be there for the burstiness of it. Maybe you want to be there for a very, very long while. And you think in the bleeds, maybe you just want to make a bleed build just because you want to play with bleeds. Let's try it. Elaborate planning, so maybe we can maintain this while my bleeds are up. Night Stalker for a beefy bleed, to buff up, let's say, our Rupture on a Vanish. Deeper Stratagem, so we can increase the damage of that said Rupture. We can stay with Leech and Poison, it's fine. Iron Wire is, okay, that's fine. It doesn't really change our playstyle. Exsanguinate, and we can go with Poison Bomb, just because. Maybe it'll proc, maybe it'll be better. We could also go with Hidden Blades, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But let's say we're going with a bleed heavy build. So what we're going to do is Garrote, Mutilate, Rupture, then we're going to Mutilate, then Vendetta, spend Mutilates up to 5 or 6 combo points, Vanish, Rupture, Garrote, and Exsanguinate, and watch the damage roll, and just kind of Mutilate into an Envenom to maintain our buff for Elaborate Planning. So you saw the damage of poisons, how much burst you can really get out of it. Bleeds are a little bit different, just very, very slightly. So we're just going to spend a global, spend, Vanish, bam, bam, and now we just want to maintain the Elaborate Planning while we have our bleeds ticking. And we want to basically maximize the Garrote. I think I'll do this, and I'll Garrote as it falls off. So perfect, maximize the Garrote, and we want to get a Rupture back up and running. And you saw we had such a high burst there too, but now the damage is going to kind of slowly degrade over time. So if you're going against like a boss fight where you just want to train the target, And I guess if you want to get some lucky procs to Poison Bomb, because now they're procking. Now Poison Bomb decides to proc. Now I'm living in proc city. Yeah. So I'm just going to, I have all my bleeds up. I'm just going to use Venoms just so I can keep this buff rolling for as long as I can while my bleeds are up. And we're going to get our Garrote up and just going to wait. We do have our Exsanguinate back up. So what we're just going to do is wait until we refresh our bleed rupture again. And I think we'll pandemic our Garrote as well. Yeah, we'll Garrote right now. We'll rupture and exsanguinate. Let the dots roll. And while they're rolling, we'll have our elaborate planning rolling too. Kind of running low on energy, but as long as I just maximize it, I should be okay. Garrote. And we'll just build that up for another full rupture. I could have played that a little bit better. I'm really playing with worse stats, by the way. My Azurite gear doesn't have any benefits for assassination. There's only one that's general, and that's this one, Resonance Fury, but that's not doing a lot of damage. Just some general, like a little rapture comes by and then puts like a claw bleed. I'm pretty sure you saw some of that in this video. So you have a bleed build and assassination poison build, two different playstyles, and that's just something we constructed here in the video. These bleeds, this playstyles and builds, I did actually get to play more than once, mostly just for the sake of recording this video and always recording the wrong information every single time and not getting the procs I wanted. So this was just one of the playstyles. Let's say you want to play a very heavy poison playstyle against, let's say, I don't know, AoE targets. We'll just go Venom Rush. We'll go this, Vigor, so we can vigorously spread the dots on everybody. We can go for, I guess, elaborate planning, because that seems to be better for assassination, because we can maintain those dots on enemies all the time. So all we're trying to do is put ruptures on enemies, and when we can't, we're trying to Venom. We're really fishing for this Poison Bomb procs, right? So you can get a lot of big burst damage. So we're going to Garrote, immediately to get energy back, rupture one enemy, and start spreading our damage over time, and really trying to finish our, I guess, finishers as elaborate planning is about to go down to really extend the duration to max. Okay, now we have everybody bled up with rupture, and cool, Poison Bomb. And this guy's about to fall off of rupture, another one, didn't get a Poison Bomb. Here what we can do is Venom and get a Poison Bomb proc, but now we need to make sure we get a dot back up on him. Bam. Trying to play around with our elaborate planning, not overdraw too many combo points. This looks like a good Venom time. Didn't get our procs at all. But hey, look at that. We're doing a pretty decent amount of damage at 6k around all enemies. Maintaining this kind of play style. Doing pretty decent. I think I am going to re-rupture everybody here. We're kind of getting sort of lucky on our AoEs. Now we have plenty of combo points, hopefully, or plenty of dots on everybody. Get that Venom rolling. Rupture again. Here we go. Not getting lucky on our procs. So assassination, when it comes to assassination damage and poison damage, you can get a lot more upfront damage early, especially when targets, I guess, will have low health. But when it comes to Poison Bomb procs, I am just getting unlucky. This is not the first time I recorded this. So that's a general playstyle, right? Doing okay damage, doing damage on everybody, more or less similar damage to single target than AoE. Good stuff, right? Let's say we want to change our rotation up a little bit. We were thinking bleeds. We just like bleeds. We want to go as bleed heavy as we humanly can. What will make us do better bleeds? Elaborate planning is pretty cool. In here, I don't think anything matters. I guess Master Assassin, so we can get more combo points with Venom Rush. That'll be pretty good to start us up. Vigor seems to be pretty good to give us energy regen. We are Leeching Poison's fine. Iron Wire's fine. I don't think any of these really help us. And we'll go Crimson Tempest. So this is the kind of build we're going to go for. We're not relying on Poison Bombs. We're relying on Crimson Tempest. Now it's less RNG, more, okay, just watch out for your, I guess, AoE. We're going to put up Garrote just so we can get early damage rolling with energy regen. Bam, we're going to pop Rupture on everybody, right? So first is the setup. We got to Rupture everybody. Okay, now we have Rupture on everybody. We're going to build up the combo points, and right as elaborate planning is about to fall off, we're going to start refreshing our dots. So we did the big bleed with Crimson Tempest, and now we're just kind of trying to refresh our ruptures to make sure that's there while elaborate planning is still running. Cool, perfect. Timed it to the fullest. Now we can do the big Crimson Tempest again and get some big damage out. Now we're going back to bleed. So again, different types of micromanagement. One with a little bit more RNG that has a lot more upfront damage, and the other has more dedicated damage with more of a meticulous micromanagement playstyle, but both of them function and do more or less same damage. I'm pretty sure in the long run, when it comes to Assassination, there is going to be a build. Like, you'll take a fight, and you'll take all the different aspects of it. Are there adds? How hard does the boss hit? Is there mobility? And people will be able to construct the best talent build per fight. This also might allow you, based on your stats as well, to figure out the best playstyle to fight. Maybe you'll be more haste heavy, so you bleeds and you can have multiple of them just ticking so much faster. Maybe you want to be more burst heavy, so crit and mastery with poison playstyle might make it better. So I feel like Assassination is just an open slate. It's a blank page, and there's so many ways to fill it. It's probably the most versatile spec of Rogue. So if you're trying to find a specialization that can do just about every aspect of the game, just about every aspect, with a heavy emphasis on damage over time, and I guess burstiness to it with Vendetta, then I think Assassination might be the spec for you. I think the changes that are going through in BFA are interesting because it's still the same Assassination with corrode, ruptures, and bleeds, and mutilates. It's the same thing compared to Subtlety and Outlaw that are going through so many crazy changes. But Blizzard finds a way to make it more of the same, but also newer, and in some cases, I think, better. Anyway, this has been my video on Assassination. Hopefully this gave you guys a bit of an idea of what this is like. I'm sorry if I fucked up any of the parts of the rotation. I don't really play Assassination nearly as much as I should. I think I will try to do at least one dungeon or two to give you guys more information on how this specialization really plays and how it feels, and maybe even test different builds. I am running out. I am running low on Tomes of Tranquil Mind, and these things are soul bound, so the only way to get more of these is I either need to buy a vendor, or which I think there probably is one somewhere out here, or I need to be able to find these things on the auction house or something of that sort. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.